it's into my awareness, it requires me perceiving it for it to become real to me. And
okay, so I
so
got a good one, Joker. I know, and the Joker, you next, and Reezuhn, you next too. It's a good one. I got to come close to the camera for this one. Steven, if your girlfriend cheats on you, but you're not there, did she cheat on you?
Yeah, because you just said she cheated on me.
Wait, what? What you talking about? You didn't see her cheat, Steven? You didn't observe her getting pounded down by 3 big black Jamaicans?
Right, but you just stated, you just told me based on the premise that she cheated on me. Did she cheat on me? Well, yes. Like you brought it into my awareness.
So
and
if it's so if I tell you that a tree is across the street, is the tree then across the street without you observing it?
Well, no, because now we're talking about something different. You were talking. I'll explain it to you. You were using a hypothetical the first time. This time what you're doing is you're telling me to trust someone else's information. Just because someone comes up to me and says that there's a tree across the street, that doesn't mean I have to take them on their word.
Fair enough. I got you.
The first question was, if she cheated on you,
okay, I got you.
If you weren't there,
okay,
like,
I got you.
You just told me she definitely cheated on me.
I see your angle. Your woman comes home and says, "I see I see a little part of your angle, but it's still nonsensical." But here's another question for you: if your girl tells you, "Steven, last night I got gangbanged, and I loved it," you weren't there to observe it. Did she get gangbanged?
Who knows? It's speculation.
Okay. Got it. Who knows? Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe, maybe not.
Got it. Are you going to stay with her?
No.
Wait. Well, if you don't know, then why would you break up with her?
Well, because she told, whether she actually did it or whether she told me this, what that expresses to me is that she doesn't respect me. Whether she did it or whether she's going to come to me and tell me she did something like that, it doesn't matter if it really happened or not. That's where I'm at. It's like, I don't want to be with somebody who expresses that, but I don't know for sure. And, I think that's the problem, is that we don't realize how many assumptions are underneath so many these ideas that we call objective. There's so many assumptions.
The problem is you have assumptions as well, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And you know what?
I have a lot too.
At the end of the day, all you're doing is telling a story. Well, we could tell stories too. We could say that there is an objective world. In other words, you're not proving anything, dude. You're just,
but I'm not the one to. But you guys are using the word objective for what you're doing. That's the difference.
Yeah,
I'm openly saying what I'm saying is subjective. What's that?
The word objective has a definition. That's why objective refers to things that are independent of human opinion. Okay. For example, the world existed before you were born. Okay.
Right. Is it your opinion that word means that or not?
Well, that's funny because I was going to ask you about your worldview in that. Right.
Well, I asked you first. I beat you to it.
Subjective opinion. Why should we take it serious then?
Well, why should anyone take any of your subjective opinion seriously? Because you label the word objective on top of it.
Well, it's not a label because it actually points to reality. That's Cooley's point about the tree and your girl.
Right, and I'm pointing to reality too. That a broken tree is a broken, beat down tree is just as perfect as a beautiful blooming one. Someone dying is just as beautiful as someone coming to life. It's like
that. That's weird, dude.
A lot of ideas together.
That's weird.
But the idea is that you believe that you're a solipsist. You know what a solipsist is?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I essentially think that everything is me. That I'm at the center of everything, and I think that's true for everybody.
Yeah,
I think that we are everything.
So at this point, then we have to just say that with that view, you're gonna run into absurdities, right? Like, I don't think you've seen your own brain, right? Like, how do we know it's even there? So there's a lot of weird things that happen with solipsism that if taken to the logical conclusion, right, you're gonna run into a lot of weird things, right?
True for
Hold on, my bad.
Yeah,
Real
so
quick, I'm trying to bring some more people up, but his
at this point,
Hey, listen, you are live right now.
you're gonna run into, like I don't think you've seen Roman Reigns, right?
I don't think he knows. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he don't even know. Let me get him up out of here.
Dang, he
The
had
mute
his
button
chance,
didn't
man.
even work on him. Hey, listen, I'll bring you back up. Just you got to go ahead and mute the audio in the background, and I'll bring you up to debate. But Joker, give me 1 second, and I'll let you finish landing your plane on that. I just want to get to some of these super chats, and then we'll continue with this discussion. Give me 1 second here. So we got Beef Sleazy sends in $2. Dave Portney got a rando arrested over an insult. Dave Portney is one of these people. He probably has some power to get that done. We got Tyga sends in $10. Listen, I'm an albino black guy, and I'm tired of my freedom of speech being policed by my own kind. There go Tyga again, trolling in the chat. Shouts out to Tyga. We had a low IQ debate about the N-word. We got Andrew sends him $5. Coolly, man. The skill it takes to have dumbed down reality, to dumb down reality for these peeps is crazy. I see your work, my man. Yeah, man, we working. We got Tyga again sends him $5. Y'all, I'm a ninja in these streets, just everybody else. We got OG Dog Pound sends in $3.49. I'm not sure what currency this is, but he says, can't afford much. Grateful for life so far. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. And it's really, any donation. OG Dog Pound, even if you can't send in a cent, liking the podcast is supporting the show. So I appreciate you, man. We got Polenko Eddie sends in $5. Steven is talking about a quantum mechanics or the matrix. Something is created only when the observer sees it. We are in a simulation. LOL. No, we're not in a simulation at all. And the double slit experiment actually proves that we're not. And some people thought that the double slit experiment proved that we're in a simulation, but no, it actually proves that we're not in a simulation. And we can go through that at another time, though. But okay, let's get back to the debate. I think who was speaking last, Joker or Steven?
Joker.
Okay, Joker.
I basically said my point. It's just it's incoherent, right? Solipsism, it just it runs into reality, I think. And I haven't heard like a real argument from you. It's just your opinion on the whole thing, right? So at least with Cooley's point, like we can test out objective reality. For example, things like mathematics work because there's an objective world, right? The scientific method works because there's a world out there outside of our minds. You're espousing a weird again, solipsism or a singular mental reality, right? But again, there's a lot of absurdities that you run into with that. Just like the ones I kind of named, like the medicine thing. Cooley brought up the thing about your girl and the tree. These are things these are weird occurrences in your view that are going to run straight into logic, right?
Yeah, and my point is that you have to use my worldview to come to the worldview that you're at. Like to even develop an idea that there is an objective reality, that things are true, that things are false, that things are good, bad, ugly, beautiful. You have to first take a solipsist. You have the authority to say these things are true. You have to assent to these things being true, and then place your faith in them for them to have any value. If you don't do that first, my point is that everything that you guys are doing and saying about all this stuff, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're just slapping objective on it because it's like yeah, 1 plus. If you take this bag with this bag, you get 2 bags, but that's only because we made it that way. Like we call it 2 bags. It's like we don't even know that a tree is a tree. We just know it's a thing. but we have
We live.
decided through solipsism that we're going to call this a tree, that this is it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just
No, so like the name, we're not speaking about the name of the tree. We know the thing that we call a tree, we could have called it a pineapple.
Yeah.
We could have called it
Right.
a basketball. Like we know the name is different. We're speaking about the tree in and of itself, right? So
when we use words, they're grabbing something in reality that's out there.
yes.
no, I'm with you on that, absolutely. So my question is,
okay, ask your question. Go ahead.
is it objectively better to live or objectively better to die?
That's an ethics question. Do you want to get into that?
Is there
Is that
objective
different?
ethics or
That's
not?
different than what we're talking about.
To
Well,
live.
it's not different than me, because that's what I'm saying. You ultimately have to decide subjectively through your observations whether you believe subjectively, whether it's it always comes back down to what you choose personally to believe. So do you believe that it's objectively better to live, or do you believe that it's objectively better to die? To die?
Do you believe that it's objectively better for your girl to get smashed by other men, or do you believe that it's objectively not good?
I'm welcome to answer when someone answers my serious question.
No, what we've been question.
That's a serious question, bro.
I have it.
The question is, we already answered the question, right? So from under our worldview, yes, it's better. It'll be objectively better. If like generally speaking, it would be objectively better for humans to live. From under your worldview, though, since everything is all subjective, but really certain things are objective, but other things aren't objective. You haven't really hashed that out either. How there's, a tree is objective, and just the fact that you're saying that everything is subjective is actually an objective claim. So there is objectivity within your worldview, but you don't even understand that within your own mental mind.
I understand that.
No, you don't.
I don't understand what that implies.
No, you don't.
I know that it is an objective claim to say everything's subjective.
So listen, if you want to go to morality, we can go there. So answer the question, the same question that all the chat wants to know. Is it objectively good for your girl? Are you in a relationship?
I am.
What's her name? No, I'm playing. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. All right, listen.
Come on,
is
man.
it
worldview, bro?
Think about this. Is it objectively good for a 6'4" black man to lay down that hammer on your shorty, or is that objectively bad, or is it just all subjective?
Well, it would be based on the context of whether I would decide. You know what I mean? It depends on the context. If she leaves me and goes and gets married to this man, and then
No. Listen. She don't. The thing is, this hypothetical, Steven, she don't leave you. She just like Tyrone busting her down every now and then.
Damn.
No, I wouldn't. I would prefer her not to do that. Absolutely.
Is it just a preference, or is that like?
That's just your preference.
That is absolutely. I cannot boldly say, I would prefer her not to do that. And if it would hurt me, I would feel harm personally if she did that.
But if
that would be my preference.
If all women, so look, here's the good one too. If all women adopted that behavior and they just wanted to cheat on their husbands and on their boyfriends and get bust down, but specifically cheat with big, tall black guys.
Yeah.
Right? Specifically. I'm not cheating with Kyle. I don't want Kyle. I want Jamal. Specifically the big black guys, right? They want to get bust down, thrusted in. They want to get their tunnels dug in, right?
Yeah.
Is that objectively bad for all women to behave like that? To be promiscuous, to be 304s? Or is that subjective?
I would say it's subjective, because I wouldn't prefer that. I wouldn't prefer that be the case here. But I can't say that that's not what's best for nature at large, because nature at large is performing it.
So
What
if it's
that's nature's preference?
go ahead, yeah.
That's nature's preference.
Nature obviously
What if-
prefers
what
to do
this
that if
is,
nature's doing
just
that.
How nature programmed her, and that's her preference. Or
Yeah.
you think otherwise.
Say that again. That's her preference.
No. What if nature programmed her to have that as a preference, though? Like, who are you to?
Right. That's my
who are you to say,
argument.
no,
That's what I'm
wrong?
saying. If that's her preference and that's what nature's preference is, the same way a squirrel likes to go and get nuts. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's its preference is to go get nuts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. I'd prefer that the squirrel not come into my kitchen and get my nuts. Right. I would prefer that, but I'm not going to shame.
Would
the
she be
squirrel
wrong
for wanting nuts?
Would
What's that?
she? Okay, if your woman cheats on you, right?
Yeah.
Would she be in a wrong?
Yes.
No, she wouldn't be in the wrong. I would just prefer she didn't do it because it hurts me.
Okay,
What?
it'll hurt you. So, but it wouldn't be wrong.
I can't.
So
I
if
can't
it's-
say that it would
if
be
it's-
wrong under any authority other than the Bible.
No. From your worldview,
Right.
it wouldn't be wrong.
From my worldview, I have no legs to stand on to say that's wrong.
So
No.
then what?
I admire your consistency.
So then what would stop her from getting her cheeks bust down by a nigga that looked like me?
I guess her preference for me, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna try to control her into wanting me. She obviously prefers me, and as far as I know, she's not doing that, right? She's not going to do all these things. But if she suddenly has this preference to go do those things, who am I to tell her that her preferences are wrong?
Would you break up with her?
Probably if she was unapologetic about it, if she just wanted to keep hurting me.
But what if she was apologetic, but she just wanted to keep every time she let Tyrone hit and Jamal hit and Tyrese hit? What other black names?
Jasper.
What, Jasper? No, that's gay. That's one of them transitional names. Yeah, that's gay.
Jasper.
But anyways,
Okay.
every time
Friends.
Pookie, every time she kept getting her cheeks
That's not even
bust
black.
down,
It's like
she apologized. Steven, I'm sorry. Steven, I'm sorry. Steven, I'm sorry. Would you be with her?
Probably.
This nigga's a simp.
Yeah.
So look,
I'm not a simp, bro. I just believe it. I just believe in forgiveness, bro. Like I've sinned against God like that many times, just like that, bro.
Your worldview doesn't have moral fiber or a moral dimension to it, right? It's just preferences and opinions. Now, look, let's raise the ante up, right? The guy with the mustache, right? Did he do anything wrong? Under your view, no. It's just his preference, right? And if the entire world would have been overcome by this dude with the mustache, the painter, there would have been nothing wrong with what he did, because that's just the preference. You see the weird moral issue that you run into with your view.
Well,
yeah, and
I don't. You just prefer that the guy. Well, the preferences. It seems to balance it all self out because there's a level of preferences that work well. You know what I'm saying? Because there was enough preference in nature to stop the smaller preferences of a mustache man. You know what I mean?
I got another question. Why should your girl not cheat on you? Is it just is the only reason that she shouldn't cheat on you is because you prefer her not to, or is there another reason other than your preference?
I would say that she ought not to cheat on me because
you just prefer her not to.
Me, because that would be a lack of love.
Yeah, you prefer her not to.
Or it's a lack of love. It's just a lack of love.
Yeah, but that would still be subjective to your preference. Because
absolutely.
Yeah, she can
if
still
love isn't objective, then yes.
No, but she can still like love you less and not cheat on you. Women do that all the time. Women stay in, marriages and relationships, and they fall out of love and don't cheat, and they move on after they break up with the guy. But if it's the case that the only thing that would make it wrong if she cheats is your own preferences, then why should she stop cheating and why should she not cheat? Outside of your preferences, why should she not get her cheeks clapped?
Well, there's no valid reason for her to not get her cheeks clapped if that's what her preference
That's
is.
the dilemma within your
Why is that a
worldview.
dilemma?
Yeah, there is.
What's the dilemma?
That's
with
the
that?
problem.
What's wrong with
Breaking-
her?
The dilemma, Stephen, the dilemma is that
breaking
no
of
one
the
else sees it
social
this way.
structure.
Okay, let me add an analogy to this. Okay, the dilemma is no one sees it this way, right? In the same way that someone who's colorblind doesn't see color, that doesn't mean that therefore color doesn't exist. We're all very perfectly aware that color exists, and just because one person is born with inadequacies or they just can't see it or they can't think through things, that doesn't mean that therefore there is no color. In the same way, if you think all morality is preference, that doesn't mean that it is, right? No one else sees it this way. No one else wants to be a cuck, bro. You know?
Right, and I never claimed to want to be a cuck. I made it very clear that my preferences are against that.
Huh.
And I didn't say that she shouldn't cheat on me because of my preferences. I said that my preference just happens to be that she doesn't. I'm not claiming that
doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah,
right. It doesn't make it right or wrong that she has preferences. Who like the only people?
Under your view, it's not right or wrong. It's just your opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
Under your worldview, listen, your chick can cheat, and listen, there's no justification outside of your preferences for it would be wrong if she does cheat, which means that she can just go ahead and cheat and, live her life totally fine. And it also would mean that if she can just go ahead and cheat, then she should be free of shame. She should be free of consequences and free of everything else, right?
Yeah, but you don't.
The reality is though that there are consequences.
Yeah.
Right, and there's only consequences
Like
because
real world consequences.
Right, there's real world consequences to cheating because people.
Like she can get an STD, she can get pregnant by another man, she can be abused in that situation. It can be many other consequences.
Right. So, but you don't realize that what it boils down to is that the only justification you have for it being wrong is because it's against your preference. You would prefer that she not get an STD.
I just explained how it'd be against her own preferences as well. Like, think about this, right? If it's the case under your worldview, everything boils down to preferences, right?
Yeah.
She prefers to cheat, but there's consequences for cheating. There's things that could happen, right? Could happen. And also with her cheating, the probability increases for negative things to happen. And all human beings view STDs as negative. That's just a fact, right? All human beings view abuse like physical abuse, like the reason why they call it abuse because it's a negative, right? Fighting itself wouldn't necessarily be abuse, but fighting without getting hit without consent, that would be abuse. You get what I'm saying? So all abuse would be negative. So what I'm saying is, look, no,
those things happen.
What I'm saying is, from your subjective view, you subjectively don't want her to cheat, but also if she does cheat, there's still objective consequences that she would deem to be negative for her own self.
Right. And so is the proper worldview, whatever goes along with my preferences is correct and true. Because if my preferences say I don't want to get an STD, well, it's under your worldview too. You're saying that this woman prefers not to get an STD. This woman prefers not to be abused. This woman would prefer not to be abused. Well, maybe what she prefers isn't what reality has in store for her. You know what I mean? Maybe she should embrace what reality is actually instead of preferring and all these other things. I prefer that she doesn't do it, but I'm not forcing my preferences on the world. I'm not forcing my preference that she doesn't cheat, and she shouldn't force her preference that she doesn't get consequences when she does cheat. That's personal accountability.
Okay, so if you real quick, I got your reason. If you jump off a building, is it 100% guaranteed that you're going to hit the ground?
I think so. There's a good chance. Yeah, I think so.
No.
Is it 100%?
No.
Yes.
If I jump off the
Reezuhn,
Empire
hush, we're
State
not speaking to
Building,
you.
Sorry.
if I jump off the Empire State Building and there's nothing but the ground that I'm looking down on, yes, I'm going to hit that ground. I can believe that.
Got it. So that would be
Barring
objectively
divine
true.
intervention. What?
That would be objectively true.
Yes. Barring the what would they call it? The outlier of divine intervention.
Okay, so if that's objectively true, now if you aren't in the picture, let's say if you well, is it objectively true? Well, now you're kind of like contradicting the first things you were saying about objectivity and stuff like that. So, but I don't want to go back. I'll leave it to Joker.
Man.
Go ahead, Joker. You had a question on this. Go ahead.
His eyes as he's falling, then nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
No,
Steven, if you close your eyes.
We're just exploring your worldview, right? And we're poking holes in it because generally speaking, no one else sees it this way, right? You're a solipsist. You seem to be somewhat consistent.
He don't see it that way either, bro. He just likes to lie to himself.
Well, that's why I brought up the medicine example, right? Like I know you don't see that with medicine, but the point is that we're poking holes in the way you see the world because it's nonsense, bro.
No, I hear what you're saying, and the only reason why I'm not. It's not that I don't believe this. Is that I've basically resisted reality in so many different ways with my own ideas about what it is, to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I realize that whatever happens, happens. Whatever it is, and I'm done fighting what it is. So when it comes to somebody slapping me in the face, I'm not going to say, "Oh, you're wrong, you're bad, you shouldn't do that." I'm not going to punch you back. I'm just going to embrace what's in front of me. Just embrace it instead of fighting it.
If you brung your girl hypothetically to Epstein's island, would you just embrace what's about to happen to her?
Well, I don't have a preference to do that, so I wouldn't do that. I follow my own preference, as most people do.
What if someone breaks into your house, right? And it's their preference to hurt your family. Are you just going to stand by and allow nature and reality to do its thing?
Well, I'm going to try to use what Jesus taught and try to speak some sense to him. But if ultimately there's
Jesus,
without God,
how are you bringing in? You don't even
bring Jesus into this, bro.
What?
Well, no, listen to me. Genuinely speaking, there's no way that a person can break into my house. If there is a God, there's no way that a person can break into my house, have the authority and the ability and power to kill me or harm my wife without the divine God allowing it. Okay, the divine God has to allow this. So
no, that's stupid.
If he sends a robber to my house, it's not my job.
No, God does not create evil and do evil. God does not create evil and do evil. That's just a lie. If someone broke in, you just said that's because God allowed it. If someone breaks into my house, well, that's because God allowed them.
Yeah, have you read the book of Job?
So because they got free will and they broke into your house because they chose to break into your house. That has nothing to do with God.
Yeah, they're bad.
Correct on that.
I disagree with you because in Job, the devil goes in Job, the devil literally goes to God, and God's like, "Here's my servant Job. Go basically ruin his life." And that's literally what the devil goes and does. And he goes and he kills his kids, takes his house, gives him swords, allows all these evil things to happen to him. And it is because God allowed his servant to be tested. And that's where we're being tested. When someone comes and smacks you in the face, you're being tested. You're not being. And what did Jesus say to do?
So we're all Job. Are we all Job?
Look, bro, Job
all righteous men can relate to Job. All righteous men can relate to Job. Absolutely.
Look, Job was teaching a lot of things about the nature of reality of God, right? His permissive will, his passive will, But these are not necessarily prescriptions for us or descriptions, right? Yeah, you're right. Maybe God does permit some of these things to happen for whatever reason, and sometimes that reason is to preserve free will, right? Because only free will can overcome actual moral accountability. But the point still stands that under your worldview, though, you don't have morality, bro. See, you're appealing to the Christian God, you're appealing to Jesus, and yet your morality is subjective, dude. You know?
Yeah, and I've used subjectivity
and have the cake and eat it too. Like either morality is subjective and a preference, or you're going to appeal to the Christian framework, the Christian moral framework, and you're going to say, no, this is wrong or this is right. Or
yeah,
he's what is good or what is evil, right? But you can't do both, or you got to pick one camp.
No, yeah, you're picking and choosing of what you want to believe in. But Reezuhn wanted to say something in a quick second. Reezuhn, what you wanted to say on this?
Oh man, Steven kept saying that other than his preference or our preferences, like how we couldn't prove or like say that it was wrong. I was just gonna say though, just like as human beings, like when you agree to be the boyfriend to somebody and then have her have a significant other, you're entering a social contract. So like if you're gonna ask me if it was wrong or not, simply off that principle of it being a social contract and she cheats on you, she broke that contract, she's in the wrong. That's all I was trying to say.
I think Steven would say that's just your opinion.
Yeah, he's just saying
like if we could write it down, if we wrote it down, like if we no, it's just like if you've ever seen the Big Bang Theory, like Sheldon, they had a relationship agreement. You could write it down. And if it's right there on black and white paper, yeah, she broke the rules, bro. She's in the wrong, preference or not.
Right, but
you can't go to court and go off
rules is wrong. Who came up with that? Who said breaking the rules is wrong? Where did that come from?
The judge.
The judge, and who's the judge?
The person that sends you to jail for breaking rules, Steven.
Right, exactly. So what you don't I'm talking about this social contract. In this social contract, who decides that it's wrong for her to break it?
You, the other person that's sharing the contract.
I got one for you, Steven.
Right. And how did you come to that conclusion that she was wrong for doing that? Why is it wrong for her to break a social contract from your worldview? Why is it wrong?
Huh?
Why is it wrong for her to break a contract with you?
Because contracts are binding. You're not supposed to break them. You're not.
Who said that contracts are binding? Who said that they're binding?
The guy that invented contract.
Steven, this is a good one for you, Steven.
Whoa,
right?
This is nuts, dude.
Can a man be a woman? If everything is subjective,
can you be more specific?
If everything is subjective, hypothetically, in this hypothetical reason, he believes that he's a woman. Is he a woman?
Oh.
Well, you could argue that he's a woman in his mind, but he's a
wait. How can you argue that he's okay? So it is objective truth. It's objectively true that he's a man then.
Right, but the debate wasn't on whether there's objective truths or not.
Is it objectively true that in his mind he's a man? I'm sorry. Is it objectively true in his mind that he's a woman?
I don't think so.
Okay. So overall, Reezuhn cannot be a woman. Right? Just answer that.
Please say no. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So now let's extrapolate that logic. Reezuhn cannot be a woman because it's objectively true that he's a man and he has a wang. He can't transition. Even if he cut it off, he still will never be a woman. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's objectively true. Got it.
Yes.
Is it also, let's just go through everything now again. Is it also objectively true then that a tree is there even if you can't observe it?
Yes, for the sake of except for the extreme that you won't address, but yes.
What extreme? I addressed everything.
Because what you said we were talking about earlier is if you take all human beings off this earth and all minds off this earth, will that tree still be there? It's like we don't know.
Yes.
That's just pure speculation.
Would it be there?
We have no idea.
No.
Speculation.
What are you talking about? Speculation.
Because you don't know. We've never had we've never been on a planet without human beings with minds.
Stop it. So listen, look to what you just did. It's speculation. Do you know what's under Reason's pants?
What?
No,
It's speculation.
Don't.
So
Yeah,
do you
right?
objectively know that he's a man or a woman?
No, not at all.
So wait, I thought that he is. I thought that you just said it's objective that he's a man and he can't be a woman.
Well, why? Yeah, exactly. Because I assumed that he was a man based on what I looked at. Just like, and there was an assumption underneath of that. Just like we assumed that there would be a tree here if we took away all of the minds of human beings, but we don't know because we've never been on a planet when there's no minds.
So if it's all assumed, if everything is all an assumption and it's all assumed, therefore we don't truly know anything to be right or wrong, to be true or false.
I didn't say everything is assumed. If I see a penis on him, a real penis, right, and I see a real man in front of me, I can say, hey, this is an objective man. But I can't go and say that this tree is going to be here if all the human beings
so
disappear.
Then the only thing that is true is the things that you can observe.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's just speculatory to make hypotheticals about a situation. It's like, how do you know? How can you?
You're confusing your own self.
You're confusing.
How could you ever prove in a million years, and in your entire lifetime with all the technology, how could you ever prove that anything would exist if human minds and humans disappear?
You're confusing with what is with how we come to know it. Two different avenues, dude. That's the difference between objective and subjectivity. It's that simple.
I'm not arguing that there's not anything objective. What I'm saying is that it's not objectively true that if you take away all the human beings on the planet, that the tree would still be there.
Literally
You don't know that.
Means. That's literally what objective means, dude.
Right, and I'm telling you that that's not objective then.
It means that it is the case and the state of affairs, whether anyone believes it or not, that it is the case.
Yeah, he just doesn't.
Right, and
he just doesn't believe.
We don't know. How can you prove that though? How can you prove? It's like it's basically. If you didn't exist, it's like if you stopped living, can you prove that the rest of us are going to disappear or stay here? You can't prove it.
That's a different discussion. But I'll humor your argument and say that in Cooley's worldview and in mine, we believe in God, so there's always going to be an observer.
Okay, so objectively speaking, the objective. I have no problem with there being objectivity. The problem is when we don't actually attribute it to what it actually is. Objectivity would be something undeniable, not something that we came to collectively through subjective interpretation.
No, but you see, you're using personal elements to judge the external world. You see what I'm saying?
Are you doing? That's what we're all doing.
Hold on, dude. The world isn't dependent on our minds or our measurements. Like, it existed before we got here. It existed before you were born. You know, it's not. This is not complicated, dude.
Well, how do you actually know?
I got a good one. Yeah, that's a good angle to take, Joker. So, like, the thing is, could we even be here if there wasn't an Earth? Could the Earth be here if there wasn't a universe and a sun? Could the sun be here if there wasn't an atmosphere for the sun to be in? Space and time and things like that. So what's true is true, objectively true, that if we weren't here, the Earth would still be here. The tree would still be outside.
To morality, man. None of that applies to morality.
Morality is a different.
But that's what I'm saying. But you keep every time I bring up morality, you go back to whether objectivity is real or not.
Because
I'm not arguing about objectivity. We both believe in objectivity.
No, listen, this is what we're doing. We're having two conversations in two different parts. One part of the conversation, we're speaking about things being objective, like things itself being objective. And then the other part of the conversation, we're speaking about, it's about morals. And is morals subjective or objective, where we were speaking about the examples of your girlfriend getting smashed? Would that be objectively wrong or subjectively wrong? So it's two conversations. That's totally fine. But we're not moving the goalposts. We're just having two different conversations on two different parts, but both of these conversations, they still come into play together. Because if something is objectively true, then that would mean that there is something that is objectively good and something that is objectively bad. Because if it's objectively true, we know that it's objectively not a lie because it's objectively true. And if it's objectively true, then we can attach truth. We can attach good to what's true. And we can attach bad. We can attach bad to what's not true. Think about it.
And right,
real quick. Listen, real quick. You can't really distinguish or fully separate at its core truth and morality. You can't really separate it. You can try to, but they all kind of play in together. They have uniformity together, right? Like knowledge and morality have uniformity together, because we need to know, or like if the purpose is to find out if something is true, well, why are you finding out if it's true? Is it good? What's the purpose for it? You get what I'm saying? It must be good. It's insinuating some type of goodness within truth. Because why would you be seeking it out? Why don't you seek out lies? It's a purpose that you're seeking out the truth. And that's good. That's good there. You get what I'm saying? It's purpose there. So, I mean, hopefully I explained that a little bit good, because these conversations tend to get a little bit abstract at times. But what I'm saying is we're having these conversations about the truth, about the good, the bad, the lies, and all of these things. And all of these things are entangled in together within one another. But let's go ahead and because Stephen, I don't think that you're gonna
do my last worldview. My last claim. My last claim is in response to that. Is that truth is absolutely real. I believe in truth 100%. Where I feel disconnected from you and I see it differently is I don't see truth as good or bad, because the truth is someone's getting raped right now. That's the truth. Is that good or bad? Then the subjectivity enters. It's objectively true, and that truth has value that someone's being raped. That's objectively true, and it has truth in it. That's the truth. But then when you go and take the next level of subjectivity of your preference and say, I don't like that truth, and that truth shouldn't be a truth, then you're the one that's at war with an objective truth, not me.
No, that's the problem that you have with your subjective view. We don't run into those problems with our objective view because it's very simple. Is grape bad? Grape is bad. God says it's bad. It's bad. Grape, could it actually feel good to, I'm sure the guy that is doing the graping, I'm sure it feels good. So for his subjective view, it feels good. Does that mean that it's good? No, it's still bad, no matter how it feels to the man, under his subjective view. So that was just dumb with what you said, but that's the problem that you run into from your subjective view. From my objective view, great, bad, it's always bad, not good. Self-deletion, right, bad, not good, don't self-delete, right?
And those are your
murder,
subjective views. Bad,
really? Always bad, not good.
That's subjective with a label of objective.
No, it's objective.
I say it's objective.
And how can you say that you believe in Jesus Christ if you don't believe that morals are grounded in Jesus Christ, God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? If you don't think that morality is grounded there, you think that is grounded into your own preferences, then you're not a Christian. What you believe in is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. It's incompatible. Your worldview is incompatible with Christian ethics. Totally incompatible.
Okay, and so
but
is yours.
It is.
You think that you should?
It's
so is yours.
Your worldview. How you view the world is incompatible with Christian ethics. You cannot claim that you are a Christian with the worldview. It's not to say that we're all sinners. We're all, commit sins and stuff like that. It's not saying that you can't be a Christian even though you committed to sin. That's different. I'm speaking about your entire worldview is incompatible with Christianity. But real quick before yep, appreciate you, man.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I guess he was going. I wasn't even kicking him out, but
Hey,
I was trying to like refresh the panel. Joker, you going anywhere or are you chilling?
I got a bounce, brother. So.
Got a bounce, man. All right, man. Thanks. Good having you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. The next open panel debate will be Thursday.
Oh, okay, cool. I might be able to join that. So.
Okay, cool, man. All right, Reezuhn. Peace, man. Yeah, I've been streaming for 4.5 hours, so I'm about to wrap up here. Let me see if I got any other super chats in here. And I do. Shouts out to Evangelist Ray Young sends in $25, man. I appreciate you. We got T Rizzle sends in $5. You got to bring on Jim Bob for this current discussion. Yeah, shouts out to Jim Bob. Man, had low IQ conversations today, bro. This
I keep saying
that. It's freaking horrible. What's good, with kid?
Chilling, man. I was going to ask him a couple questions. I wanted,
he just got out of here.
Yeah. I wanted to know if the Indians were here when they came over to take over, or if they showed up when the boat landed.
From his worldview, he would have to bite the bullet and say, well, he was back and forth. So he would say, if he wasn't there to observe certain things, like certain hypotheticals we gave, he would say, well, yes, that's objectively true. But then other things he would say, well, that's not objectively true. So he was like all over the place within his own worldview.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. But like I said, I wanted to know if the Indians were here when they came over and took over, or if they showed up when the boats landed. Like, was the forest there, or was like the land already there with the houses built? You know what I mean? With the tree in the forest. There was just things. I had a couple of simple questions like that.
Yeah, and I think when I said it to him, maybe I could have broke it down better, but I think I said it pretty good. Like, if it's the case that human beings, like objective means mind independent. If human beings wasn't here, would the tree still be here? He says that. Well, we're just speculating. Well, if the word.
Oh, you just froze.
What's up?
Oh, I said you froze on me for a second.
Oh yeah, my connection is probably going down or something. Well, it's been like in and out.
That's why I thought of that question about like, was the forest here, or was like the houses there already there? Like when they moved, like when you got to the neighborhood, did they have to build the house for you and clear the land, or was the house already there?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's, you know what I mean? Like, I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's where I was going to, because like
that's what made me think of that.
We can't have a tree without the planet Earth. We can't have planet Earth without the sun. We can't have the sun without there being space and other things within the vacuum of the atmosphere within the universe. So it's like, come on, bro. There's things that we objectively know. But yeah, man. Funny debates tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a little fun, but a
little fun.
Interesting at time.
Right. Have a good one, brother. Peace. All right, chat. I'm done.